This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your me, Louie T? Welcome to Lockdown Coverage. Week number 6 in the National Football League. Big matchup in this game. Look, someone could leave this game at 2-4. Someone could leave this game. Both teams could leave this game at 3-3. So this was a big one. And they showed percentages of teams making the playoffs at 2-4, 3-3, and 4-2. A team could leave this game at 4-2, man. A lot riding on this game for both teams coming in. And I thought it was a hell of a ball game. Not a lot of defense. And we're going to get to that a little bit later on. But I tell you what, there were some plays made offensively in this game that left you speechless. And so we'll talk about the offensive execution, the lack of defensive execution, and who was able to get it done and what this means for both teams moving forward. But before we break this game down, first and foremost, I want to thank you for watching this. Welcome to the Louie Tee Network. And if this is your first time here, subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content. And beyond, in 2016, I'm continuing to bring you all the coverage that you desire, that you seek here on the Louie Tee Network. Your man Louie T covering the entire league like a blanket. That's why this is lockdown coverage. I got it locked down. And I'm also on Twitter. At In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. If you happen to be on Twitter while you're watching this, use the hashtag LouieTLive to let your voice be heard. If you're watching this on YouTube Live, use the chat discussion box. Use the hashtag LouieTLive to have your voice heard there. I will read your comments at the end of this breakdown. So let's get into this breakdown. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. We start with the road team and the likes for the first half, and we will go to the Los Angeles Rams and what I liked in this game. There was a lot to like from the Rams in this game, and I'm going to give some credit to some people that I haven't given credit to this season, and they deserve it. They did some good things in this game, but it wasn't enough, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Response to the Lions' opening touchdown drive with a touchdown of their own. So Lions come out and they make it look easy. I mean, they go right down the field like a hot butter through knife, get in the end zone. It's 7-0, and you're saying to yourself, wow, damn, that was Staples button easy. What are the Rams going to do to respond to that? And they said, oh, that's fine. We're good. We're going to do the same thing they just did. And they took it right down the field, and it was a beautiful balance of Todd Gurley getting the football and Case Keenum spreading it around. And he finds Kenny Britt, who makes a nice play to break one tackle and then get into the end zone after spinning out of another. And so just like that at 7-7. And that, to me, was the start of what was going to be a shootout in this game. And these tit-for-tat possessions to start the game was a microcosm of what was to come. It was a precursor for what was to come in this football game. Hot offensive start. I mean, the Rams came out and they were all business offensively. And this is a team that I think the consistency is starting to get to me now. The inconsistency, I should say, is starting to get to me. Because here's a team that couldn't score to start the season off. 9 total points in the first 2 weeks, yet they still were 1-1. Then they go to Tampa and light them up like a Christmas tree, score 37 and win in that game. And then you say, wow, the Rams can score a little bit. Then they score, 13 and beat the Cardinals 13, 16, 17, whatever it was in that game. Barely got it done in that game, but they got it done. That was the key. Win that football game. And then they turn around and they do this. And you're like, wait a minute, what is this? Last week, they couldn't do anything versus Buffalo. So another game where you're like, man, they didn't score a ton of points in that game, stifled in that game. And then they come back and they score 28 in this ball game. And the offense, they had it on tilt, okay? They were lighting the Lions up early on. And, oh, my God, look at Case Keenum. That's the last light. Case Keenum, they had a lead in this game, 14-7. Case Keenum at one point in this game, 20 consecutive completions. Wait a minute. Did you hear what I just said? 20 consecutive completions. And no, he wasn't Matthew Stafford in this game. He wasn't dinking and dunking, throwing a bunch of bubble screens. He wasn't throwing a bunch of hitches. He was driving the football down the field and eating these boys alive, killing them. I said, wait, is this Case Keenum? I'm not sure. Yeah, this is Case Keenum, man. It was the Case Keenum show for a while there. But as we all know, all good things must come to an end. And there's a reason why I always kill Case Keenum. It's because with the game on the line, look, I have a criteria for my quarterbacks and how I rank them and how I rate them and what the different weighting scale is for things that I think are important in the DNA of a great quarterback. And one of those things is your late game execution, clutch gene, I call it, the it factor, if you will. You can't measure it. You either have it or you don't. Late in the game, game's on the line, team needs you. Can you step up big and make the plays necessary to take your team to victory? Case Keenum wasn't able to do that. Wasn't able to do it last week. Wasn't able to do it this week. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. But that boy, I tell you, Case Keenum had those boys on the ropes, man, and he was kicking lion ass in this game, along with his tag team partner, Kenny Britt, who we'll talk about a little later on. Let's get to the Lions' first half likes in this game. Opening possession touchdown. It was a thing of beauty. I mean, it looked so easy, so effortless. And Marvin Jones caps it off with the touchdown. And just like that, it's 7-0. And I'm thinking to myself, man, so much for that Rams defense. This Lions offense is hot right now. They've been scoring points in bunches. This could be another one of those long days for the defense. But it was going to be a long day for both defenses, as we would find out throughout the course of this game. Response to Rams touchdown with a gutsy 4th and goal call with a touchdown to Andre Roberts. Look, this was as ugly as a 4th down conversion as you will find, as lucky a 4th down touchdown as you will find. But luck counts just as good as skill and execution. And right place, right time for Andre Roberts. We know Matthew Stafford can throw that sidearm throw with the best of them. He flung it under duress. It got to his target. They called pass interference anyway, so whether he had caught it or not, they were going to get a fresh set of downs. But they get the touchdown on 4th and goal. Credit Jim Caldwell for having a pair. Okay, he's been known to be very conservative, lacking the balls, the gumption, the cojones to make these types of calls. Look, you're 2-3 on the season, and I have the same problem with other teams around the league who decide it's okay to punt on 4th and 1 from the other team's 47-yard line, who think it's okay to kick a field goal from the 6-yard line on 4th and 1. I have a problem with those coaches because your team is down. You're 1-4. You're 2-3 on the season. What the hell do you have to lose? You need to go for that. And I think Jim Caldwell understands that. Look, I'm back up against the wall. We playing with house money now. We got nothing to lose. We were 1-3 at one point in the season. I got to roll the dice, man. Hope it comes up nice. He did, and it did come up nice for him on that 4th down conversion as Andre Roberts makes a hell of a catch in traffic. Defender draped all over him. Touchdown. Great response as the Rams had taken a 14-7 lead prior to that. 4th down and goal stand to end the half. This was huge. If the Rams get any points here, even a field goal, I don't know if I necessarily agree with the decision, but I get it. The Redskins did the exact same thing on 4th down. They went for it. And sometimes you just got to roll the dice. You want to come up with a touchdown before the half. You want to get some points. So I get it. I understand that you get that far, you get that close. And my motto is, and you've heard it before, and I'm going to say it again, you can't get 1 yard you don't deserve to win. And they got that close, and the Lions simply sold out. Had that been play action pass, I don't think that they would have been ready to deal with it because they sold out on run. They guessed right, and they stuffed Todd Gurley before he even got a chance to get started. Great goal line stand by this Lions defense to preserve a tie at halftime at 14 apiece. That was a huge play and turn of events in the game. Again, a game that's decided by 3 points. I don't have to tell you how important that goal line stand was. Big play by that Lions defense. Let's go to the dislikes for the first half. We go back to the Rams not getting points at the end of the half. I could sit here and second guess Jeff Fisher's decision all day long. Doesn't make one bit of a difference to me. I'm not going to sit here and second guess him going for it. He could have taken the field goal. Would that have changed the outcome of the game? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I'm not going to ever chastise a coach for going for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and goal from the 1. You can't get a yard. You don't deserve to win in this league. And I've said that before, and I continue to say that. You got to find a way to get in from 1 yard. I don't give a damn. I'm not a manhood issue guy. I'm not, oh, you need to line up and run for a yard. I don't give a damn how you get it. Just get it. Whether it's a pass, whether you come out and shotgun from the 1 and you throw it in. I don't give a damn what you do. Just get in. If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win. I don't care how you get it. Just get it. And they couldn't get it. And so not getting points at the end of the half hurt. Whether it's a field goal or touchdown, that stung. That gave the Lions all the momentum coming out of the halftime break. And they would use it on their first possession offensively in the second half. They would use that momentum to power them to a touchdown drive. We'll get to that in a second. But we go to the dislikes for the first half for the Lions. Penalties that aided the Rams' final drive. For all of the good that they did at the end, stopping the Rams from getting into the end zone, they were the ones who created this mess in the first place. Pass interference on Nevin Lawson, on Tavon Austin, to give them a situation where they were down there close to getting in the end zone. Then you get a personal foul, defenseless receiver hit on Glover Quinn in the end zone, which gives them the football even closer. Again, Lions aiding and abetting the Rams in trying to get into the end zone. Ultimately, though, the defense would stand up, negate those penalties by getting the stop and allowing the halftime score to remain knotted up at 14. Let's go to the second half likes. We go back to the Rams in this game. And for me, it's Kenny Britt. Kenny Britt was a stud in this game. He abused that Lions secondary. It didn't matter if it was Darius Slay or Nevin Lawson or a safety. It didn't matter. He was making plays, 7 catches, 136 yards, a couple of touches. He was everywhere. One acrobatic catch where he's got one hand. It was pass interference. They didn't call it. But the defender had his arm, so he had to catch it with one arm. He falls to the ground. The ball comes up. He bobbles it, stops it with his legs, finds a way to corral it. It gets it at the last second. Can't believe he caught that ball. Made play after play down by the goal line, catches a slant, runs over 2 line defenders, bounces off another one, stretches the football over the goal line. The guy was tremendous on this day. Kenny Britt looked like a number 1 receiver. We've been crying for the longest for the Los Angeles Rams to get a number 1 receiver. If Kenny Britt can play like this moving forward, they have a number 1 receiver. Problem is, his inconsistency leads you to believe that he's nothing more than a number 2 in this league. But he looked damn good in this game, and we've seen him play this well before, so this isn't a surprise. You go to the Detroit Lions and their likes in this game. Golden Tate, big ball on free play. Matthew Stafford did a wonderful job of drawing the Lion or the Ram defenders offsides, gets a free play, lets it rip to a wide open Golden Tate down the field, who gets into the end zone, at least we thought. A couple of great moves. So this is why you got to get this guy to football. And we're going to talk more in depth about Golden Tate and his performance in this game and what I've been crying about all season long. But it leads to he ultimately was ruled down. They go back on replay and they check and they see that he was touched down at about the 1.5 yard line. Anquan Bolden finishes off the drive with a touchdown grab to give the Lions the lead. And I talked about that momentum that they built with the goal line stop. This is where that paid off with that drive. Thought they really came out and did some good things in the second half. Golden Tate. Let's talk about Golden Tate for a little bit, because this is a guy that I've been talking about all season. When the Lions were struggling, got off to the 1-3 start, I talked about needing to get Golden Tate involved, and I told you I didn't care how. And we saw flashes of this last week. Remember, I said this wasn't hard to figure out. This was a 30-piece puzzle. One that you do with your kid at home, that you do in 5 minutes. You tape it up and you put it on the wall and you say, look what we did. Okay, this wasn't a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. This wasn't hard to figure out. You want this Lions offense to be the best that it can be, get Golden Tate the football. It's enough for everybody to get a piece of it. Even when Ebron comes back, it's enough for Ebron to get some, Golden Tate to get some, Marvin Jones Jr. to get some, and there's still leftovers for Bolden to get his hands on a few balls. It's enough for everyone to get some. And the fact that he was just pushed out, and it seems like they have a hard time getting everybody involved at once because Marvin Jones was essentially invisible in this game outside of his one touchdown grab, had a drop in this game as well. Golden Tate was the star of the show in this game, but it seems like they have trouble integrating both. They need to find a way to get everybody the football because there's enough to go around. But 8 catches, 165 yards, a touchdown. I talked about, I don't care how you get this man the ball. I said, is it that hard to throw him a hitch, a bubble screen, put him in the backfield, hand him the rock? They did all of those things in this game. What took you so long? I don't understand. It's not rocket science. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. It's really simple. You get your playmakers the football. You get them out of space. We know how much he excels out in space. Why is this that hard to figure out? Took them long enough. They won this football game because they got the ball to Golden Tate. It's not hard, guys. Don't make this any harder than it is. That final drive is on my likes list. Zach Zenner, the Z-Man. Thought he was good throughout the game. And I joke, I kid about not wanting to see him get the football 20 times in a game. He touched it about 20 times in this game, had about 14 carries, had another 5 or 6 catches in the game. I thought he played well. That last drive, there's a 1st and 20 after a bad penalty on the Lions, and he gets 19 yards on a draw handoff. I mean, Zach Zenner caught the football on that final possession. He was huge, and he was huge throughout the game, and he's a guy that can and will help this Lions team moving forward. That final drive to get the field goal, to give them the lead was a thing of beauty, ate up some clock, and there was no decision to be made there, 4th and inches. You kick the field goal, you get the win, and allow your defense to go out and do something they hadn't done all day, and that's get a damn stop, and they did. That's one thing I can say about this Lions defense. They stink for 4 quarters, but with the game on the line, they somehow make plays to get it done, and they did it in this game for the 2nd consecutive week in a row. Raphael Bush with the game-clinching interception. Last week, it was your big play guy, Darius Big Play Slay, making the play last week. And this week, it's Raphael Bush with the interception. Case Keenum can't throw that football. You just can't. And he had an outstanding day, but that's why he's Case Keenum. You can't throw in a double coverage. High-low coverage. Got a guy on top, got a guy underneath. That football's not getting in there unless you have Greg Olsen or one of those types of tight ends that's going to go up and take the football away from that defender. You don't throw that ball. And really, I don't recommend you throwing that ball even if you have Greg Olsen. It's just not good business if you're Case Keenum. That's not smart business. And it's a big play by the Lions to wrap this thing up. Let's get to the dislikes. We go back to the Rams in the second half. It's the defense. Their defense, look, if Case Keenum plays this well and you score 28, with this vaunted Rams defense, you're supposed to win the game. 28 is supposed to be more than enough with how good this defense is, how highly touted they are, and how physical they are. You're supposed to win the game. Well, you got exposed in this game. And if you're going to be aggressive, and this is the thing, they knew what they were up against. Greg Williams loves to be aggressive, okay? You want to come after my quarterback? You want to be aggressive? Take this screen. Take this screen. Take this screen. I'm going to keep hitting the screen if you're going to keep coming after my quarterback. Do you see the theme here? I'm going to back your ass off until you realize that if you want to come after me, I'm going to keep popping you with these screens. And they kept hitting Golden Tate on these hitches and these bubbles, and they were popping them all game long, and they couldn't do anything about it. And then they were giving up chunks in the run game. They were getting hurt. They couldn't get stops in the red zone. If you forced them to kick a field goal here and there, you might win this game, but you kept giving up touchdowns. They struggled in this game defensively, and that's why they lost. We love to blame Case Keenum. Oh, they got Case Keenum. I know I do. I'm not going to back away from that. And I'm still going to kill Case Keenum at the end of this game, even though he was magnificent in this game. Because the defense, they didn't get it done. And Case Keenum, at the end of the game, didn't get it done. Speaking of which, Case Keenum interception, my last dislike for the Rams. Can't do that. As good as you played in this game, the only thing anybody's going to talk about at the end of this game is, did you see that dumbass pick Case Keenum threw? Yeah, I saw it. It was dumb. He shouldn't have did it. The man had 5 incompletions on 32 attempts, 20 straight completions in this game. He played out of his mind, and they still lost. That is tough to take because he can't play any better than this, and he still lost. Now, you put that on the defense. You can put that on the defense, but he still had the ball in his hands at the end of the game with a chance to win. I said he can't play any better. Yeah, he could have played better. He could have not thrown an interception and taken his team down the field for a game-winning touchdown. He could have did that and put an exclamation point on the best game he's ever played in his NFL career. Instead, he reminded everybody of why he's Case Keenum. That hurts. Let's go to the Lions' dislikes. I only got one. It's this defense. It stinks. They made Case Keenum look like Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a hell of a day. Only 6 incompletions. You know who had a higher completion percentage? The only quarterback in the league yesterday to have a higher completion percentage than Tom Brady did? Yeah, Case Keenum. My God. What are you doing out there? Case Keenum? Really? He was blazing y'all. And then, because he was having so much success, you guys actually said, gotta stop Case Keenum, gotta stop Kenny Britt. Then Todd Gurley started running the rock on y'all. You see what happens when the quarterback actually gets a little bit of respect. Now, the running game gets a little bit of space. And I said, wow, this is epically bad by the Lions defense. They just made Case Keenum look like a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. That's pretty hard to do. But yet you went out and you did it and you made it look easy. 3 touchdowns for Case Keenum? When's the last time Case Keenum threw 3 touchdowns in one game? They scored 37 on Tampa. I highly doubt he threw 3 touchdown passes in that game. Case Keenum went over 3 bills in this game. They scored 37 versus Tampa. I highly doubt he went over 300 yards passing. Case Keenum almost completed it at an 80% clip in this game. 20 straight completions. Do you understand how hard that is to do? Lions defense made it look easy, but I will say this, with the game on the line, they made the play they had to make. In the second half, in the first half, when they had to get a stop, they made the play they had to make. In the end of the game, they made the play they had to make. And so for as bad as they were on this day, for as good as they made Case Keenum look, they made the plays that they had to make to win the game. And that's all that matters. We'll keep trying to fix the defense, but let's fix it with W's. And so Lions got it done. Let's read some of your comments here. All right. BE says, man, this game was pretty good. Man, it was a fun game to watch. Fun game to watch. BE says, hey, Golden Tate showed up today. That he did. And Golden Tate was magnificent yesterday. And I've been talking about getting him in the football. They finally did, and it paid off. If Jeff Fisher takes the field goal at the end of the first half, this game might go to overtime. We can sit here and nitpick that. I'm not going to beat him up for that decision because if they score a touchdown, we say, oh, what a ballsy decision by Jeff Fisher. We do this all the time. I'm not going to kill him for that because I probably would have wanted to go for a touchdown. Again, you know my mantra. You know my motto. You at the one, you need to find a way to get in, and they didn't. That's the most important thing there. It's not that he went for it. It's that they couldn't get a yard and get in the end zone. Mind Draw says, man, Zach Zenner looking way better than Forsett. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I hear you on that, man. Zach Zenner looked really good in this game. I was impressed with him. I gave him some credit. I've been beating him up. But the Z-Man looked damn good in this football game. Man, I was about to get on your face about you talking about not wanting to see more from the Z-Man. Nah, man, I had to give him some love today, man. He played outstanding in this game. Props to Hyder. Didn't have a sack, but man, he was in the backfield, rolling dudes up. There was one play, I want to say it was a 3rd down run, and he gets to Todd Gurley before he even gets a chance to get the football good. I'm surprised he didn't fumble. Hyder was all over the backfield, man. He's a player. And I want to say that he made some real impactful plays. One of them might have been on the 4th down. I'm not sure, but Hyder was all over the field. And I know one time the commentator tried to give it to your rookie out of Alabama, Ashawn Robinson. I'm like, no. That's Kerry Hyder Jr., buddy. Get it right. Mind Draw says, last but not least, I hope you dislike Aaron Donald. At both victory formation snaps, he injured our center. No, I didn't even know that. I heard that they were a little dirty, but that's Jeff Fisher, man. I told you Jeff Fisher and his players color outside the lines. I've been saying that for years. Nothing surprises me with those guys because Jeff Fisher allows that to go on. And in some instances, he coaches that kind of stuff. So that doesn't surprise me any. Jeff Fisher's a dirty coach. He's been that way. I don't get mad anymore because I already know. And if you already go in knowing, then you should be able to figure out how to combat that kind of stuff. That sucks that your center got hurt, though. BE says, you're going to meet up with Nick for the Vikings-Redskins game and make a video? I don't know. I saw you guys talking about it yesterday. I don't know what I'm going to do and how that's going to go. BE says, is this the start of the decline of the Rams to start losing a lot of games? I already told you they were going to lose when they were 3-1. I said this is not going to last because Case Keenum is their quarterback. I had a conversation with my barber at the barbershop, and I told him that it was going to happen. He got mad at me. He was like, come on, man. Why you got to say that? We going to win this year. And I said, I told you, you got Case Keenum. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. Don't kill me. I'm just a messenger, and I'm here to tell you that your quarterback isn't good enough. Well, he was good enough on this day. The defense wasn't good enough. They let them down, and to me, that's an even bigger issue. We can sit here and talk about Case Keenum, the slow start to the season for Todd Gurley. All of those things are relevant, but how about the defense go out and stop somebody that's not in the NFC West? How about you go and do that? Because outside the division, this defense stinks. Inside the division, they're dominant. There's two different Rams defenses. And they need the Rams defense that shows up against the NFC West to show up against the rest of the league. And they just don't. So, yes, they're about to start losing ball games. And that's going to do it for me. Yeah, I can't be talking trash to the barber, man. He might try to. I'm already going back as it is. He might try to take me back a couple more inches. So, yeah, I got to watch my mouth. But me and him go way back. He ain't going to do me like that. At least I hope not. That's going to do it for Rams and Lions. Rams get the win. Both teams lead this game at 3-3. After the 3-1 start, Rams, losers of 2 straight, got to get back on track if you're the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, the Lions, after the 1-3 start, winners of 2 straight, now they're back on track, got back to 500. Let's see what they do with new life, having a clean slate. And don't look now, but the Packers lose. They're now 3-2 on the season. You're right there in the thick of things. If you're the Detroit Lions, got to keep playing consistent football. This defense stinks, but this offense can be dynamic. We'll see if they can find a way to merge and fuse the two and get better play out of their defense and try to win some ball games moving forward. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room on lockdown coverage. Remember, your man Louie T trying to change the game one live feed at a time. I got plenty more games to break down, man. I will see you a little bit later on. What about that shootout in New Orleans? Second year in a row, shootout with the Panthers and the Saints. That should be a fun one to watch. I'll be back to break that one down in a little bit. See you then.